Well, tonight it's been confirmed a Stevenson High School student in Livonia has been diagnosed with viral meningitis. The student has not been identified, and we don't know how the student contracted the virus. It's an infection of the fluid in the spinal cord and the fluid that surrounds the brain. Now, unlike bacterial meningitis, viral meningitis is relatively mild and does not always require treatment. Officials from Livonia Stevenson tell us there is no need for alarm and that notification has gone out to all parents. And joining us now live in our studio to discuss the difference between viral meningitis and bacterial meningitis and whether there is need for alarm is Dr. Robert Zayed, a family practitioner from Providence Hospital in Novi, Providence Park Hospital. Well, thank you, doctor, for coming in. First, give us an idea. What's the difference between viral meningitis and bacterial meningitis?
Thanks, Carolyn, for having me. You know, the first thing we have to think about is what meningitis is, and that's an inflammation or infection of the covering of the brain. It could be caused by two different kinds of infections, many, but most commonly viral and bacterial. And so viral tend to be more benign. Bacterial tend to be more dangerous. The first reaction we usually get when we hear the word meningitis is to panic. But the truth of the matter is it's a very rare disease, and even if somebody has it, it's very rare for someone next to that person to contract it.
So parents really don't need to be worried that a kid's been walking around Stevenson High School. It's unlikely other kids have gotten it.
Well, they don't need to be worried, but I think you need to be a little bit more have your guards raised a little bit and make sure that if you've got flu-like symptoms that you address it with your family doctor or your doctor.
Tell me about some of the other symptoms. If a kid comes down with flu-like symptoms or other things like a high fever, what else should we look out for?
So, the most common symptoms of meningitis would be fever, high fever, headache, and neck stiffness. You might also have sensitivity to light, nausea, vomiting. And if you have any kind of flu-like symptoms with a case of meningitis, you probably want to see a doctor to make sure that it's not something more.
Right away. So for this kid who has the viral meningitis, I mean, how long will they be out of school?
1 to 2 weeks. And again, I just want to reiterate, these viruses and bacteria are in our environment all over. We have millions of them on our body and through our environment. It has to go through many different barriers of our immune system. It has to go through, our mouth, our sinuses, our lymph nodes, our blood fights it off, and then to the covering of the brain to get meningitis. So just because you're exposed to this common virus doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get meningitis.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for coming in and sharing your expertise. So not to worry, just keep an eye on your kids, though.
Not to worry, but just to be a little bit heightened.
Okay, good.